So I want to talk about this a little bit. I know no one here is from Michigan, but this has been a big deal, and I think is sort of emblematic of where the country is going. Michiganders, they protested Governor Whitmer. Right. And she banned any. And by the way, I love how they just arrest protesters in some of these places. They're like, they're protesting the government overreach, and like, well, we're going to use the power of the government to put you in jail for protest. Like, that's how that works.
Yeah.
What a brilliant ploy.
Prove to the point. Thank you.
So I can't protest your illegal action because you've made it illegal.
That doesn't make a lot of sense.
I'm incredibly confused, but not really because you're a communist. Let's go to a clip here. Is this actual Whitmer herself?
Can't tell.
Let's go to first this clip
CNN,
so that you understand Michigan, what's going on a little bit, then we'll talk about it.
Tonight, thousands descending on Michigan's capital in Lansing to protest the governor's current stay-at-home rules. Blocking traffic, honking their horns to protest some of the strictest rules in the country. Rules which include bans on all gatherings outside a
blocking
single
traffic.
household.
They are traffic.
Yeah, they are traffic. As a matter of fact, they're the only traffic.
Yeah, right.
Also, dramatic reductions in capacity for stores big and small.
4 customers per 1,000
and the response,
square feet.
have you seen people like, these are, there was actually an article, I think, in the New York Times, I can maybe bring it up. It said, it's official, the quarantine or the social distancing deniers are here. Like,
oh my God.
They're in their cars honking.
Yes.
They couldn't be more amenable to your demands and their protests. They're doing it from an F-150, probably with a mask on.
Yeah, and if you read the stories, it says almost everyone stayed in their cars. A handful of people got out of their cars and were holding signs and waving flags. And the thing that they hated the most is that they handed out candy to children and they didn't have on gloves.
Whoa.
How dare they?
Disgusting.
That was quoted in 2 different articles that I read as like the height of...
Hey, but he's running for president. Let Joe Biden hand out the candy.
This is
well,
true. Yeah.
That's a missed opportunity on his part.
He
could have
doesn't
sniffed a
hand
lot
out
of
candy.
kids.
He set up a kissing booth.
Oh, a sniffing booth?
Both, he would rather, but they told him, like, Joe, listen,
Oh my
you have
gosh.
to pay extra.
take the W.
Yeah.
Okay, they let you set up a kissing booth.
Just do that.
Sniffing
You
is
got it.
not. Maybe our culture will get there someday.
It's just not there.
But we're not there yet.
Are we going to normalize
Don't
that
try
too?
and push progress too quickly, Joe,
Hold on. So real quick,
because parents think it's weird.
CNN, listen to what they said, right? They said these are the strictest in the country.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I've seen people posting about this on social media. They're like, oh, I can't believe these people are just upset about social distancing. No, go read the rules.
Yeah. There's some really, really stupid.
Go look at them.
It's not only the most strict; they are the stupidest rules. And by the way, shout out to the sheriff of Leelanau County,
Attaboy.
where he said, "We're not going to do this because we're not going to infringe on your constitutional rights." And the laws not only were stringent; they were retarded. Now, for example,
Technical term, though.
I can't.
It is.
She forced all businesses to close that had nurseries. Plants, nurseries.
Yeah.
It's weird
Because
we
planting
we should have different words for that.
Yeah, we should.
Tiling, carpet, departments had to shut down entire sections of their store, but you can still buy weed in Michigan, just to be clear. So you can
That's
go
awesome.
out and
It's a
you
way
can
to
buy
pass the
yourself
time.
some Spaceman Kush OG, but God forbid you try to pony up for a poinsettia.
Yeah.
Just to show you
Shows the priorities here.
You can't use your boat in Michigan.
What?
Now, so we have a video of a guy who's getting arrested jogging on the beach. It's like, how far? I'm walking here. How far out do I have to go? In Michigan, not at all. You can't even go out to the water, which is odd because that's also private property for people. People don't understand this. In Michigan, when you own waterfront property, I don't know exactly where, but it goes like a slice of pizza. Like
really?
a slice of pizza, like a corner, where a certain portion of that is still considered a portion of your property, and then it's public, because you're out there. And I don't know if it's public, state-run, I don't know the exact terminology. But here's the exception. A canoe is fine. So
Is there any reason
you can have a
given for
canoe
that?
or a rowboat, but you can't go out on a jet ski.
It's the speed.
It's like, I just want to get away and go out
Is it gas powered?
in the middle of the lake by myself, with my wife perhaps, on my Boston whaler, and you might see the Coast Guard.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
But if they do pull you over in the middle of the lake, just tell them you're on your way to get an abortion.
Yes.
Yes.
Go on your way, sir.
Is this one of those new
applaud that.
water abortions? It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
I like the big canoe industry right now.
Yeah.
The big canoe lobby is out there going, you need a Coleman? We got him.
There are 2 beneficiaries. There's Big Canoe and with Dr. Burke's Big Scarf. They are
Big
cleaning
Scarf is
up
loving it
right now.
That's awesome.
What else do we have? Oh, this is something else to keep in mind too when we're talking about middle class Americans. The reason Michiganders are so upset, and I don't take political stances, but because I love Michigan so much, was born there and then have lived there for a very long time and have so much family there, I might just need to step in and do something to get this broad out of there. Because I wasn't a huge fan of Snyder just because he was a wiener, but he still was so much better than this lady right here. Americans may not understand this. There's more coastline in Michigan than I believe any other state, maybe outside of Florida, more than California. Wow. People don't understand because of it's fresh coast.
Because it reps,
And if you've never been to the Great Lakes, particularly Lake Michigan, like in northern Michigan, for example, Leelanau County, where the sheriff said, "Hey, Whitmer." It looks like the Mediterranean. You have vineyards rolling down into the water. You know,
I can
it's
attest
beautiful.
to this,
I got married up there, and it is working class. They have an unbelievable, disproportionate number of Americans, of Michiganders, who have second homes in Michigan. Yeah. I think I have the number 265,000. Seasonal vacation homes. So it's not like California or Florida where, you have this beautiful penthouse, right? And these condos. These people have cottages on the lake. They go ice fishing. This is the culture in Michigan. When they say you cannot travel between two homes, that's one of the rules right now. For some reason, you can travel out of state. So if you have, for some god-awful reason, a summer home in Illinois. I love seeing the full moon over the cornfields and the oil refineries. For some reason, you can leave the state, or you can, but you can't travel from, let's say, Grand Rapids or Kalamazoo up to Traverse City, Michigan. You're not allowed to. Most Michiganders, this is what they do. They don't go on vacation. A lot of them. They have a small home, cottage, on a lake somewhere, and they look forward to it all year. They go there. Usually it runs in the family. My wife,
it's tradition.
Her grandfather built a home with his bare hands up on Lake Michigan before there were power lines.
Was he Amish?
No, he wasn't Amish. Can you believe that?
They can build homes.
Think about that. This man was a bombardier in World War II. Yeah. He built 2 homes with his own hands. He was the mayor of Bloomfield Township, or city supervisor, and he was a professor. He had a PhD. Let's just get to building 2 homes. You couldn't pay me enough to go on the second floor of a home that I built.
No, there's no trust.
I would never trust it.
Well, and she tried to pivot, and she said, "You know what? The UP right now it's set to get 30 inches of snow." I'm like, seriously, you basically banked on the rest of the country not knowing that there's a difference between the UP and northern Michigan.
Sorry, that's why we forfeit our God-given rights.
Yes.
Because of a dusting.
Yes, but the UP is not the thing going on right now. Most people are not going that far. They're going to Traverse City, and they're going up, like you said, to Leelanau County and places like that. Right. Okay, so stop making that comparison.
This is why they've had these protests. It affects a lot of Michiganders who work hard and play hard.
Yeah.
Ted Nugent has talked about this. That is the culture there, is having a lake house. It's passed down through generations. It's not super crazy expensive as it is in other states. It's always more expensive now that it's becoming more popular. Something else, too, this is what really bothers me, is that she claimed that Donald Trump, this is Whitmer, Michigan. Remember the name. Remember the name, folks. Whitmer.
You heard it
when
here.
It comes down to voting, just whatever is not Whitmer. I have no idea
vote
who's going to be up against Whitmer. She said that Donald Trump withheld federal aid, by the way, with no receipts. And then banned and prohibited doctors from prescribing hydroxychloroquine.
Oh, wow.
And she probably has like a morning briefing from Salon and Slate, because they're like, we have to team up against hydroxychloroquine because it seems like it's working. So she banned it outright, and then begged and lobbied Donald Trump to send some from the Federal Reserve afterwards, and then chalked it up to there was a miscommunication. When we said we were prohibiting doctors, what we meant was send some.
I really wish.
Need help.
Yeah, I really wish that he would have been like, I'm really sorry. We can't go ahead and send it. No, sorry, Governor, we can't do it. Just to screw with her for like a day as it's on its way there.
Right. And we have Brian Callen. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I want to run one last clip.
Go ahead.
This brought also. This is something funny to me. She's clearly auditioning for VP of Joe Biden. Who's this on? China revises Wuhan death toll by up. Oh wow, a little bit of revision.
Who's that kid?
By 50%.
Still essentially shut down. But what have
with
you
a
learned
6%
about
death rate?
A new
Daniel Radcliffe's little brother?
No, he looks like a comedian named Daniel. Brian Callen can probably, when he comes on, I can ask him that comedian who talks like this. See, Dan something man, Dan Savage man. I don't know, but we'll find out who he is. This is completely irrelevant. So here's another thing that she did. She said she didn't have time for politics, and a lot of people buy this. Pardon me, buy this shit when people say like, I don't have time for politics. As though everybody doesn't have some kind of a political persuasion.
Right, yeah.
And then so because she doesn't have time for politics and she's most concerned with the citizens of Michigan, a huge portion of whom have second homes and now can no longer use their jet ski, she decided to go on Trevor Noah's program and wear this hat because Donald Trump referred to her as that woman from Michigan, which clearly got her goat. I assume a lot of Michiganders have small farms and goats. So it was an apt
Definitely got her goat.
analogy. Here's the clip.
It's hard to talk with you or speak with you and not ask you about the comments the president made about you. I think you have a shirt that might be exactly
I was wrong.
that woman from Michigan. An extremely dismissive statement.
Yes.
And one that sparked a conversation.
Keep in mind, this is a
across the country.
comedy show.
Yeah, comedy host.
Said,
I guess he
if you
thinks
are
he
not
makes
nice
up for
to
the
him,
lack of jokes
he will
with
not
the
help
Edmund
you.
Dantes
I believe that
facial
Vice
hair.
President
Oh,
Mike
gosh.
Pence still calls you.
terrible.
Is it difficult for you during this
Don't you
period
just shave
to
it
be
and get
dealing
rid of
with
it at that
politics
point?
whilst at the same time trying to deal with a crisis?
I don't think any of us has energy to deal with politics right now. All of our energy, all of our focus
No.
has to be on meeting the needs of our people.
Just have,
people are dying.
You just have the energy to go to Vistaprint and have a custom-made T-shirt, expedite shipping,
Yeah.
so that you can go on Trevor Noah's show and talk about. It's unreal.
Non-political
By the
show.
way, he just didn't. No one remembers your name. You're relatively inconsequential. Now we will. You're welcome. Now people will remember who you are because we don't like you. So it's just, I don't have time for politics.
Right.
But here's my shirt that you can now buy at
politics.
WhitmerForReelection.com.
Yes. Make a donation.
Oh my God! I hope she loses so badly.